Power Wizard Dragon here, doing a update review on my spring break circus adventure. I'm in the Coliseum here in the town that I live on Sunday, which means that it's empty, which is always nice. I enjoy being in this arena on Sunday because nobody's in here generally. So I'm gonna walk and talk. Hopefully the shakiness doesn't dissuade you from listening to me. Just turn off the visuals and it won't be a problem. You can just listen. So I decided to take the day and go to the circus. I went and drove 2.5 hours to get to Wichita, Kansas, a suburb called Park City, and I went to the Hartman Arena and saw the circus that came to town. Yeah, I know some people are against the circus because of the cruelty to animals, and I totally understand that, and I don't know what to say except for I'm complicit in my unwavering acceptance of my personal freedom to do whatever the fuck I want. I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't judge people on what they do. I don't care if you judge me on what I do. That circus was going to happen whether I went or not. So, and I didn't get to go to the circus much as a kid, and I always wanted to. I think I went once, but what's crazy about getting older is you start to question your memories. I kind of remember going to the circus, but I kind of don't. And I don't know if I just imagined it, because I have a very vivid imagination, and as a kid, I used to pretend a lot of things that happened just to make up for the things that didn't happen. Like I had imaginary friends and false memories that I played out in my head very vividly. So I don't know if I actually went to the circus. I feel like I did, though. I feel like it was a real memory, but I was very young. But I honestly don't remember if I just went. So it doesn't matter. Either way, I've wanted to go to the circus for a long time, at least 10 years. Every time I used to see it advertised, I'd like, man, let's go to the circus. And they always have those tickets in the town you're at. One adult ticket, get a kid in free. So I said, fuck it, over spring break. I decided to go by myself. I didn't take anybody with me. And it was the best decision I've made in a long time. I had so much goddamn fun. I booked a room for the night in a cheap hotel right off the freeway, so I didn't have to drive home late because the show didn't start till 6:30. First part of the journey, I ended up not taking the right exit and ended up in a farther out of suburb of Wichita than I planned, so I turned around and came back and saw a sign for the African American Museum in Wichita, and I spent 3 hours there, and it was awesome. I should do a whole other review on that because I had a wonderful time there. I met this really beautiful person in every aspect, an older lady in her 70s that wasn't supposed to be working that day. And when I started talking to the director because they had some artifacts from the Dagoon or Dagon, I can never pronounce it. I don't know the correct pronunciation, tribe in Africa. And I'd heard about the Dagon tribe for a long time because they discovered the Sirius A star, which is a white dwarf star, I believe. They knew of its existence as the counterpart to the Sirius B star before even scientists had discovered it. Their ancestors, according to their historical, talked mythology or whatever you want to call it, their history basically, that tribe's sacred history, they were told about this star from their ancestors. And so I brought it up to the director. I was like, because there was 3 artifacts in there, which I took pictures of. It was an awesome little museum in Wichita. They had a door that the granary held for this tribe. They had a little they had different artifacts from the Dagoon tribe, and they had just an amazing amount of masks and just very powerful artifacts and total icons from these different tribes that this one lady donated to the museum, who had personally collected in her travels. And the director, I told her, she asked her if she ever heard of the Sirius mystery, because there was a book written about it, and it's been referenced in lots of comic books that Grant Morrison wrote and just different things. And she never heard of that. But she said that one of the people that worked there, and I can't recall her name right now, I think it was Anna maybe, Anna. She was supposed to work that day No, she was supposed to work today. She worked on Thursdays, and I was there on a Friday. She's like, "Oh, it's too bad you didn't come in yesterday, because Anna would have loved to talk to you about this stuff. She researches this stuff. She collects books on all these artifacts, and she actually teaches us stuff." And so about a half an hour later, that lady walked in, Anna, and the director was like, "Oh, I thought you worked yesterday." She's like, "Oh, I just happened to trade my schedule this week because one of my friends got sick." And so it was just really great coincidence that she ended up there on a Friday, because I spent almost 2 hours speaking with this wonderful elderly lady, and we connected on so many levels about the Dagoon tribe and just the sacredness of these masks. And she explained to me how all the artists like Picasso and all the ones that did not surrealism, not cubism, but abstract, that the artists that coined these terms, these European artists, actually stole all this shit from African tribes, because they visited these tribes and took some of the masks that had very abstract lines and concepts embedded into them, and they didn't give them credit. So, technically the African tribes have been doing abstract art for thousands of years before the Europeans fucking made a big deal of it. So it was just awesome to talk to this lady, and that was the first part of my day in Wichita. Was just going to this African American museum and spending almost 3 hours in there wandering around. I spent too much time in the artifact room, and it got towards like 3 o'clock, and I hadn't checked into my hotel, and I had to eat before the circus, so I didn't even get to the upstairs part, the historical part, where they have the history of African Americans in Kansas and all the successes and trials and just stuff that happened. So I'm going to go back this summer and do a little more thorough reading, because it was really cool. I suggest everybody that's in Wichita to go check it out. It's like $6 or something. It was totally worth it. Just the power in the artifact room alone, when you walk in there, it just, if you're a sensitive person, it's just emanating with these artifacts that you feel like, I don't know, there was something magical about it. So that was the first part of my day. It was very enjoyable. But then I went and checked in my hotel, and this circus was on the outskirts. It wasn't in like Park City. It was in Park City, so it wasn't in Wichita. So it was this kind of like outskirt of Wichita. And so anyways, I ended up going to this, checking in, trying to get a bite to eat. That was whatever. I ended up at the circus like an hour and a half before it was going to open. It was supposed to open at 5:30 for pre-show stuff. I ended up there at like about 45 minutes before 5:30. So like it was like 4:15, and I'm glad I did, because a line started forming. There was 3 doors on each entrance side, and man, it was packed. You want to see diverse people in Kansas, go to the circus. That's all I got to tell you. Like, there was so much diversity there. It was just a wonderful thing. And the circus itself, the performers, most of the really talented theatrical, dangerous gymnastic stuff was done by foreign people that weren't born here in the United States. They were like on work visas. It was so fucking cool. I mean, it was masterful in so many ways. Like the ringleader guy, he was black, and I didn't expect that, so that was awesome. And he was in this decked out white super fancy suit. So to see the ringleader of this 3-ring circus, that was a black guy, that was super cool. And then just every aspect of it, they had I know a lot of people are sad about the animals, but and this is coming from a biased point of view, but I think they loved doing what they did. They didn't seem sad to me. And yeah, they had whips, and they used the whips to guide and focus the horses. Like they had the ringmaster that was training the animals. There was camels, there was Arabian horses, there was elephants, there was these little show poodles, there was trained fucking cats. This lady had 3 cats that she had trained do tricks that were awesome. There was just the level of excitement, and all the kids in there. For every adult, there was 1 kid minimum, except for me. I was probably the only guy that showed up by himself, that kid. And I just can't tell you, at one point I almost wept. I was so goddamn happy. Like, tears welled up in my eyes because I was so full of joy, and just goddamn like a kid taken back to my childhood. The amount of work that went into these acts, between training the animals and the acrobatics and everything that they did. I mean, there's this level of excitement when you go to the circus, because you know what they're doing one misstep and somebody could fucking die. Like, some of the shit they were doing was incredibly dangerous. I mean, even with the fucking little cushion pillow they blow up to catch their asses, like, you know, they've got these two guys spin around on this giant hamster connected 2-cage thing, and one of them did a front forward flip on it up in the air, you know, like 40 feet up in the air. They had high wire acts. They had a lady hanging from her hair that spun around. And even the hula hoop girl, before she went out, I got a front row seat because I got there early, which I was super happy about. Even the hula hoop girl, which wasn't necessarily the most dangerous act, like, obviously, but she spun probably, like, at one point 50 hula hoops around her waist. She even prayed, like, I saw her because she was in the front, and before she took off her overcoat to display her, you know, beautiful costume, she crossed her heart and went out there. And I was thinking to myself, God, if the hula hoop girl's praying, I wonder what they do in the back, the real dangerous acts before they come out. Probably out there, probably, like, you know. But it was amazing. They had the 5 motorcycles in the cage, and and the way that they engineered it to get money out of everybody's hands was also just so awesome. They dimmed the lights 2 different times, and at the beginning, because they had an intermission, they set up camel rides, horse rides, bouncy house, face painting, pictures with an albino snake and a snake lady, pictures with this giant robot transformer looking thing. And then everything was, the elephant rides were $25. The camel rides were $15. They had a weight limit of 140 pounds, so I couldn't ride it. But they'd have like 8 kids on one of these freaking elephants. Like, maybe not 8, but at least 6, I think I counted on one of them. So that's $150. And I don't know how long they let them, you know, go around the little circus thing, but not very long probably. And so they were just raking in the money, and it was so cool to see. And just the amount of work, like the acts, all the people behind the scenes, the concession people. I got my picture taken with that snake lady, and I got my picture taken with these 3. They were from a different country, an African country, and I don't remember where it was. But they were amazing. They were called the Bone Breakers. Look them up on YouTube. It was fucking phenomenal, the contortionist stuff they could do. It literally looks at one point like this guy twists his whole head around backwards like the Exorcist does in the Exorcist movie. And I went and got my picture taken with them and told them, you guys are going to be in movies one of these days, because they were walking upside. I mean, it was just, I can't even give it full justice to describe it. But the Bone Breaker thing was probably the most scariest, craziest, you didn't want to look away sideshow sort of thing they had going on. It was wild. The outfits were wonderful. They dimmed the lights. Anyway, let's get back to my story. They dimmed the lights and basically like told the parents they had to go buy one of the $20 electronic things you could light up, because they wanted the whole place to be lit up with these electronic things. And then after the intermission, which they had intermission for half an hour, set up all this stuff again to get more money from people, and then set everything back up for the last final part of the show. And then they did stuff afterwards. And then right towards the end, they have $5 cheaper lights that they brought out that they didn't show at first. And the ringleader guy at one point, towards the end, he's like, look, you like popcorn? You like cotton candy? You like snow cones? We need 25 kids to show up after we're at the front, concession area. And if you fill up a bag of trash, we'll give you a free popcorn, snow cone, and cotton candy. So they even employed the kids at the end to clean up. But it was so awesome. I bought my ticket online through Ticketmaster, so probably would have been cheaper if I just waited and got it there. But it was the first day, so it was packed. It was packed. I don't even think, the only other venue I've been to that had that much energy was the Ozzy Osbourne concert I went to. And I'm not even kidding, but it was a different type of energy. It was a happy, joyous childhood energy. And there is nothing like an arena full of kids that when the ringmaster says, I want everybody to scream, and they scream, you're just like, holy shit, my ears are hurting. But I gotta tell you, I had so much fun. And it was my spring break, and it was pretty much the only fun thing I did over spring break. I took 2 days off, Friday and Saturday, because I'm so behind with my schoolwork and my art class that I needed to work on it and clean my house and do all the shit that I put off during the first part of this semester. So I am currently going back to school here, starting Monday, but I wanted to do a little upload on the circus that I went to at the Hartman Arena in Park City. And I will be going to the circus anytime it comes through town. I forget the name of this particular circus, but supposedly they're international, and The acts were just phenomenal. Like, I didn't even touch on a fifth of them. They were just amazing, and I was beyond a doubt it was worth every penny that I spent, and I will be going back. And I don't care what people say about the circus. It made me wish I had joined it when I was a young man, because the excitement of the crowd for not only the people but the animals, I really feel, and maybe this is my bias, but I feel like the animals liked what they did. I looked in the eyes of the elephants, and I really think in their soul they were happy to perform and enjoyed the just energy of the crowd when they did their tricks. The horses were the most impressive thing of animals. They had these horses like spin around on one foot, walk backwards on 2 feet. It was phenomenal. I never experienced, I've been to professional sport games, and I've never been as impressed as I was with the circus, just because of the element of danger that was involved with these circus acts, that you were on edge of both excitement and fear. So that's my review of the circus. I'm going to get offline now because there's people in here, and I don't know how they're going to feel about me doing a review of the circus. So happy spring break, everybody. We'll put up a upload probably once school gets out, or maybe in the between when I get a free day. I'm running out of memory though on my phone here. So Pirate Wizard Dragon signing off. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.